Well, good evening. The January transfer window is closed, but clubs have until 1 a.m. to announce a move, provided the relevant paperwork was in by 11. The biggest deal incoming to the Premier League was at Southampton. Napoli striker Manolo Gabbiadini joined for a fee that could rise to £17 million, which, of course, would be a club record. Southampton also brought in goalkeeper cover. Muez Hassan signed on loan until the end of the season from Nice. He will provide backup for Fraser Forster to Crystal Palace, and they've beaten the deadline to sign Liverpool defender Mamadou Sakho. The Frenchman will move to Selhurst Park on loan. Palace will pay a £2 million loan fee and cover his full wages. Palace beat off late interest from Swansea and Southampton to get that one over the line. Now, staying with Palace, and earlier they parted with £12.5 million for Olympiacos midfielder Luka Milivojevic. He signed a 3.5-year contract. Arrivals at Palace do not end there. We understand they've agreed a short-term deal with Everton for striker Aruna Kone. He had 6 months left on his Everton contract. Now, there was, though, deadline day frustration for one player at Palace, and he remains there. Andros Townsend's move to former club Newcastle United is off. Rafa Benitez was hopeful the deal would be pushed through, but agreement couldn't be reached on the finances of that transfer. To Burnley we go. And news of a club record transfer. Norwich City's Robbie Brady has joined for a fee believed to be £13 million. Earlier, Burnley completed another signing. This man, the midfielder Ashley Westwood, joined for around £5 million from Aston Villa. Now, another likely departure at Villa Park is a man who's been dominating talk in this transfer window at Villa Park of late, and that's Ross McCormack. The Scottish international, it seems, is on the verge of joining Nottingham Forest on loan. What about arrivals at Aston Villa? Well, around 10 minutes ago, they announced their deal for Scott Hogan was complete. He seems set for the claret and blue of West Ham, but it's the claret and blue of Aston Villa. That's his destination. We understand the fee could rise to £12 million. Villa, they have strengthened in defence too. Swansea's Neil Taylor has arrived at Villa Park. Taylor is part of a swap deal. Leaving the club, leaving Aston Villa, is Jordan Ayew. The Ghana international will join up for Swansea once his participation at the Africa Cup of Nations is over. News of a departure now to bring you from the Liberty Stadium. Winger Modou Barrow has joined Leeds United on loan. The deal comes with an option to buy. The biggest money departure in the Premier League was, of course, at Watford. Striker Odion Ighalo completed his £20 million move to Chinese club Changchun Yatai, and it proved to be a very busy day of outgoings at Vicarage Road. Jerome Sinclair is another player who has left. The forward has moved to Birmingham on loan until the end of the season. Juan Carlos Paredes was a fourth player to leave. The Ecuador defender sealed a loan move to Olympiacos. The Greek club have an option to buy in the summer. Midfielder Adlène Guediora had the choice between Hull and Middlesbrough. Both agreed a fee that could rise to £4 million with Watford, and the player plumped for Middlesbrough. One player who looks like he is leaving Middlesbrough, though, is the striker Jordan Rhodes. We understand Rhodes has signed for Sheffield Wednesday in a deal worth around £10 million. We're still awaiting confirmation from the club. Middlesbrough previously rejected bids from Wednesday and Aston Villa. Now, Hull have been the most active club in this transfer window, and deadline day is proving very fruitful indeed. Inter Milan defender Andrea Ranocchia has joined on loan. Hull have reinforced in midfield too. Villarreal's Alfred Ndiaye has joined on loan. Ndiaye had a spell, you remember, at Sunderland 3 seasons ago. And arrivals at Hull continue. We wait for a formal announcement that Polish international winger Kamil Grosicki has joined from the French club Rennes. Whew, this is all going on, isn't it? To the champions now we go, and Leicester City, and they've completed the loan signing of Udinese defender Molo Vagei. There's an option to buy him in the summer. Now, it's not just in the Premier League where there's been action. Tom White has, of course, been talking about what's been happening in the Championship as well. A couple of lines to bring you from there. One concerns Queen's Park Rangers. This is a very interesting one. They have completed the loan signing of Ravel Morrison from Lazio. There's an option to make it permanent. Morrison scored 6 goals in 15 games in a spell at the club just 3 seasons ago. One other bit of news from the Championship concerns Norwich City, and it is a big one. They've signed Wigan forward Yannick Wilshere for £7.5 million.